Hello there, very good evening and thanks for joining us here on the news tonight. I'm Tracy Shilchi and in the next 30 minutes I'll be getting you through the day's top stories, starting with the headlines. 63% turnout in the first phase of polling in Uttar Pradesh. Parties keep a close watch on the polls as the day sets the tone for the next 6 phases. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addresses 2 rallies in 2 states, takes aim at the SP Congress alliance in Uttar Pradesh, highlights the centre's schemes for the poor in Uttarakhand. Eyeing the youth and farmer vote in Uttar Pradesh, Akhilesh Yadav and Rahul Gandhi released the common minimum program of the alliance, announced a slew of SOPs. And the political drama in Tamil Nadu intensifies. Sasikala warns of a protest from Sunday to protest against the delay in the governor's decision, while the state education minister and 2 MPs announced their support for O. Pannirselvam. Uttar Pradesh witnessed its first phase of polling in the 73 assembly constituencies on Saturday. A turnout of 63% was recorded. The heat is on the BJP, which swept the region in the 2014 Lok Sabha elections, but now faces a test of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's governance over the last almost 3 years. Opponents like Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav, Samajwadi Party and its alliance partner Congress and Mayawati's BSP are leaving no stone unturned to make their way to the top.
Agra, Aligarh, Meerut, Bulandshahr, Noida and Loni are among 73 constituencies that went to poll on Saturday in the first phase of Uttar Pradesh's 7-phase assembly elections.
The voter turnout, the figures, they stand at about 63% and counting.
यहाँ पे गवर्नमेंट जॉब तो सभी को नहीं मिल पाती, लेकिन जो प्राइवेट जॉब के लिए यहाँ पे कोई कंपनी फैक्ट्री कुछ नहीं लगा। हमारे आसपास सरदना क्षेत्र में कहीं पर भी
क्षेत्र के विकास के लिए सही आदमी आए और क्षेत्र का विकास हो। हमारा विकास 5 साल में बिल्कुल नहीं हुआ। इधर इस साइड का, दूसरी साइड का हमें नहीं पता। पश्चिमी उत्तर प्रदेश का कहीं कोई विकास नहीं हुआ, जो भी हुआ पूरब में हुआ।
This year's election is being seen as a litmus test for Prime Minister Narendra Modi's 3-year rule at the centre. Although giving a tough fight to the BJP is the Congress SP alliance and BSP, which is trying to make a comeback.
तो मैं समझता हूं कि यहाँ के रेजिडेंट्स का, नोएडा के जिस तरीके से आशीर्वाद मिला है बड़ों का, और यंगस्टर्स साथ साथ में घूमकर सपोर्ट किए हैं, साथ साथ चले हैं, बहुत आभारी हूं सभी लोग। अब चारों तरफ जो मेरी बात हो रही थी और आज मैं नोएडा में जो घूमकर देख रहा हूं, ये देखकर मैं कह सकता हूं कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार बनेगी और 300 सीटें लेकर हम सब लोग आएंगे।
काम बहुत किए हैं और जनता का संपूर्ण आशीर्वाद मुझे मिल रहा है और मैं उम्मीद जताता हूं कि चुनाव में ही जीतूंगा।
2 crore 60 lakh voters, including over 1 crore 17 lakh women and 1,508 belonging to the third gender, were eligible to cast their ballot to decide the fate of 839 candidates. The first phase of polling was peaceful in the 15 districts of western Uttar Pradesh, some of which were categorized sensitive. Out of the 887 polling centers in riot-scarred Muzaffarnagar, around 600 remained sensitive.
Citizens of this part of UP who have shown the tone for the future phases of UP elections to come, that there will be peaceful polls and there will be high voter participation.
In western UP, the Samajwadi Party and Congress hope to consolidate the significant Muslim vote, 17% of the state's total population. BSP chief Mayawati, who hopes to wrest back the state she lost in 2012, too is eyeing the Muslim vote to supplement her Dalit support base that constitutes 21% of the population.
In the first phase of polling in Uttar Pradesh, the voters have turned out in huge numbers to cast their vote, with the polling percentage surpassing the 2012 figures at several places. With 330 seats yet to go for polls, the electoral battle in this politically significant state has now moved on to the next phase. With camera person Raj Thakur, Vishal Dahiya, Rajya Sabha TV, Agra.
And Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Saturday addressed rallies in poll-bound Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand. In his speech in Badaयूं district of UP, the Prime Minister took a shot at both the ruling Samajwadi Party and also the Bahujan Samaj Party on the issue of development. And in Uttarakhand, Modi listed a number of schemes that his party has introduced for the welfare of the people.
अब बारी है आप।
On a day when Uttar Pradesh is voting in the first phase of polls, Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed a Vijay Shankhnad rally in Samajwadi Party's turf, Badaयूं. Addressing a jam-packed rally, he launched a scathing attack on the SP Congress alliance, alleging that Akhilesh Yadav had plunged the future of the state's youth into darkness. Along with the SP, the PM also targeted the Bahujan Samaj Party for lack of development in the state.
आज मैं बदायूं जिले में आया हूं तो मैं कहना चाहता हूं 18,000 गांवों में जरा सपा बसपा के लोग जवाब दें, क्या ये आपका दायित्व नहीं था इन गांवों में बिजली पहुंचाना? कांग्रेस का दायित्व नहीं था क्या? नहीं किया उन्होंने। अकेले उत्तर प्रदेश में 1500 गांव ऐसे निकले जहां पर कभी बिजली का खंभा तक नहीं लगा था।
Badaयूं is scheduled to go to polls in the second phase on February 15th. After UP, the PM also addressed a public gathering in poll-bound Uttarakhand's Rudrapur district. In his speech there, Modi said that politicians and bureaucrats are the real people who have looted the country. He also asserted that development is the only thing that can take Uttarakhand to greater heights.
आर्थिक विकास की ये महत्वपूर्ण ऊर्जा भूमि है और इसलिए भारत सरकार इस पूरे क्षेत्र को बल देना चाहती है, अलग अलग नीतियों के द्वारा बल देना चाहती है, व्यवस्थाओं के द्वारा बल देना चाहती है, ताकि यहां का औद्योगिक जीवन इतना फले फूले कि आसपास के सभी इलाकों में लोगों को रोजगार देने का कारण बन जाए और एक नई ऊंचाइयों पर पहुंच जाए। ये सपना देकर के हम चल रहे हैं।
The Prime Minister also congratulated the scientists for successfully testing a missile that can destroy other missiles 50 km up in the air. Uttarakhand will go to polls on February 15th. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Meanwhile, Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi and UP Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav released the common minimum program of the Samajwadi Party Congress alliance at a joint press conference in Lucknow. The two leaders also attacked the Prime Minister for his remarks against the Congress Party and the former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh.
As Uttar Pradesh voted in the first phase of assembly elections, Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi and UP Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav addressed a joint press conference in capital Lucknow, exuding confidence in the success of their alliance. The two leaders released a 10-point common minimum program which their alliance will work on if voted to power. It includes distribution of free smartphones to the youth, employment guarantee through skill development to 20 lakh youth, loan waivers to farmers, cheap power and proper remuneration for crops, among others.
ये जो 10 बिंदु हैं, इसके साथ साथ जो समाजवादी पार्टी और कांग्रेस मिलकर के काम करेगी, कम से कम जनता को इस बात का भरोसा है कि जो बात जनता के बीच में रखी जाती है, सरकार बनने के बाद उन चीजों को पूरा किया जाता है। कम से कम समाजवादी लोग जो बात करते हैं उसको जमीन पर भी उतारते हैं। कई बार लोग मन की बात करते हैं लेकिन काम की बात नहीं करते। दो युवाओं को कांग्रेस और समाजवादी पार्टी को साथ साथ आने का काम हुआ है। ये कुनबों का गठबंधन तो उन्हें लग सकता है, लेकिन दो युवाओं का गठबंधन है।
हमने ये 10 जो पॉइंट्स रखे हैं, ये उत्तर प्रदेश के डेवलपमेंट की फाउंडेशन है, नींव बन सकती है। मगर हमारी जो सरकार बनेगी इससे आगे जाएगी। हमारी कोशिश होगी कि उत्तर प्रदेश में सबकी सरकार बने। उत्तर प्रदेश को ट्रांसफॉर्म करेंगे। वन डिस्ट्रिक्ट वन प्रोडक्ट की सोच, हर डिस्ट्रिक्ट की जो स्ट्रेंथ है उसको हम आगे बढ़ाएंगे, निकालेंगे और उससे उत्तर प्रदेश को बनाएंगे।
Attacking Prime Minister Narendra Modi for his raincoat in the bathroom bob at former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, Gandhi also said that instead of doing his job, the Prime Minister was more interested in peeping into other people's bathrooms.
जन्मपत्री पढ़नी अच्छी लगती है, गूगल सर्च करना अच्छा लगता है और लोगों के बाथरूम में झांकना अच्छा लगता है। वो चीजें वो अपने फ्री टाइम में करें, शाम को करें, मगर मेन प्रधानमंत्री का काम होता है रोजगार का सवाल, सिक्योरिटी का सवाल, किसानों का सवाल। इन सब सवालों में हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी फेल हैं।
Rahul Gandhi also took a jibe at the Prime Minister's remarks made in an election rally in Haridwar on Friday, where he launched a personal attack on Rahul Gandhi.
कांग्रेस और समाजवादी पार्टी की सरकार आने वाली है। इस रिजल्ट से प्रधानमंत्री को जबरदस्त झटका पड़ेगा, उनकी क्रेडिबिलिटी पे बहुत बड़ा सवाल उठेगा, इसलिए वो घबरा रहे हैं और इसीलिए वो ये चीजें कह रहे हैं। जो भी कांग्रेस पार्टी के बारे में वो निकालना चाहते हैं निकालिए, करिए। आप प्रधानमंत्री हैं, 2.5 साल से हैं, जन्मपत्री निकालिए।
The two leaders also promised to provide 1,000 rupee monthly pension to 1 crore poor families and one-time food at 10 rupees to the urban poor, 33% reservation to women in government jobs and 50% reservation in panchayat and local body elections. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And Samajwadi Party patriarch Mulayam Singh Yadav on Saturday addressed his first election rally in Etawah. His brother Shipal Yadav is a candidate from the Jaswant Nagar Assembly constituency in the district. In the 30-minute speech, he assured the crowd that the Samajwadi Party will fulfill all promises made to the people. This was Mulayam's first rally after a number of flip-flops as to whether he would campaign for the party following the family feud. Shipal Yadav, after filing his nomination in Jaswant Nagar, had announced that he would form a new party after the March 11th when election results are declared. Jaswant Nagar constituency will go to polls in the third phase on 19th of February.
समाजवादी पार्टी ने जो वायदे किए हैं, एक बात हिंदुस्तान में यही पार्टी है कि जो वायदा करती है वो पूरा करती है। लेकिन उसके बाद भी जब नहीं हुआ तो किसानों का कर्जा माफ किया। किसानों की जमीन नीलाम नहीं हो सकती है, चाहे भूमिका से कर्जा हो, चाहे किसी का कर्जा हो, चाहे निजी क्षेत्र में किसी ने कर्जा दिया हो, लेकिन अब जमीन नीलाम नहीं हो सकती है। ये कानून हमने बनाया।
Very interestingly, he didn't mention anything about his son Akhilesh, who of course is continuing with the rallies. The UP Chief Minister addressed a rally in Moradabad where he highlighted the achievements of his government. The Chief Minister said that he will develop the state further if elected back to power, adding that his government was committed to creating more jobs for the youth. In another rally in Rampur, he attacked Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the demonetization decision, saying that people were pushed into trouble for no good.
जब हमने इतना काम कर लिया और जो कुछ सीखना था वो सब सीख लिया, राजनीति का टेढ़ा मेढ़ा रास्ता भी समझ लिया, अब अगर मौका दोगे तो इससे ज्यादा काम करने का नाम समाजवादी उत्तर प्रदेश को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए, उत्तर प्रदेश की खुशहाली के लिए, उत्तर प्रदेश की तरक्की के लिए और हिंदू मुसलमान सिख ईसाई को साथ जोड़ करके हर वर्ग के लोगों को अगर चाहते हैं कि आप खुशहाल बना दें, तो मैं समझता हूँ समाजवादी पार्टी से बेहतर कोई पार्टी।
And Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi also attacked the Prime Minister with the demonetization decision at a rally in Chandosi. He alleged that the government's intention for demonetization was never to get back black money. Instead, it was to help businessmen get more money into the banks. He also said that the Prime Minister did not stand up to his promise of providing employment to the youth.
नरेंद्र मोदी जी चाहते हैं कि आपका पैसा बैंक में फंसा रहे, आपका पैसा उन 50 परिवारों के प्राइवेट हवाई जहाज को चलाएगा, आपका पैसा उन 50 परिवारों के घर में लगेगा, मार्बल की फ्लोरिंग होगी, आपका पैसा वहां जाएगा। हम ऐसी सरकार नहीं चलाना चाहते हैं, हम चाहते हैं उत्तर प्रदेश को बदलना।
With a quick break here, up next, away from election fever, we'll get you the other top stories of the day.
I work primarily in the area of algorithms. We are interested in finding out whether such a program can be made for solving a particular problem and how efficient that would be and how much time the computer is going to take. Looking at all of those aspects of problem solving.
Watch Eureka with Professor Naveen Garg, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, IIT Delhi on Rajya Sabha Television. Homai Vyarawala, better known by her pseudonym Dalda 13, was India's first woman photojournalist. Vyarawala entered the field of photojournalism in the late 1930s. For nearly 30 years till she retired in the early 1970s, at the peak of her career, she made a massive impact. Vyarawala clicked some iconic pictures of political and national leaders. Gandhiji, Nehru, Jinnah, Indira Gandhi have been subjects of her vast photographic collection. Prime Minister Nehru, she says, was her favourite. In 2011, Homai Vyarawala was conferred the Padma Vibhushan, the country's second highest civilian award.
Welcome back. Let's give you some more national news, and the other one of the big stories that we've been tracking for the past few days now in Tamil Nadu, where AIADMK General Secretary V.K. Sasikala today warned of a protest by party cadres against the governor's delay in making a decision on the Chief Minister's post. She claimed this was a tactic to split the party. This comes on a day when two AIADMK Lok Sabha MPs and a state minister joined O. Pannirselvam's camp.
AIADMK MPs from Namakkal and Krishnagiri, P.R. Sundaram and K. Ashok Kumar have extended support to O. Pannirselvam, strengthening the caretaker Chief Minister's banner of revolt against AIADMK General Secretary V.K. Shashikala. The state's school education minister K. Pandyarajan also joined the Pannirselvam camp.
60 days of great governance given by this AIADMK government led by Mr. O. Pannirselvam, which has swayed the masses in the favor of AIADMK and almost to the same level as what Purochit Televi Amma had left behind. And from there you had the spectacle of the last 7 days, which is a leadership transition, past the huge groundswell of support on behalf of Mr. O. Pannirselvam in the last 7 days, where every MLA is today making an assessment under whose leadership he can go out and seek votes.
With this, the rarely seen intra-party political tussle has become more intriguing. O. Pannirselvam has in the past alleged that he was forced to step down as Chief Minister to make way for Shashikala. Meanwhile, with the opposing camp longer, party MLAs who are holed up at a resort near Chennai.
இழுப்பதற்காக எடுத்துக்கொள்வதை பார்த்தால் எங்கள் விடவுகள் ஏற்பட வேண்டும் என்ற எண்ணத்தில் இது நடக்கிறதோ என்று எனக்கு புரிகிறது.
Majority MLAs supported our Chinnamma, and Chinnamma has been elected as the party leader of AIADMK Assembly Party. It is clear that the list of MLAs have been given to the governor. Then the governor has to take decision. Governor will definitely call our Chinnamma to take oath. That's all.
Police also sprung into action to probe allegations that over 100 MLAs were being held captive at a luxury resort outside the city by the Shashikala camp. An inquiry has been ordered and all 137 Chennai police stations have been asked to check and verify the identities of guests staying at Golden Bay Resort, about 80 kilometers from Chennai. The police action in Chennai follows a complaint by some MLAs that they were being threatened. What seems to have cleared the pitch for the succession battle in Tamil Nadu is the state's tradition of hero worship. With the shadow of Jayalalitha still looming large, the contestants for the post will have to depend on her memory to acquire legitimacy. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
In other news, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has said that he expects the RBI to cut interest rate but respects its decision to hold status quo. He said this after addressing the customary board meeting post the budget. In its review earlier this week, the RBI for the second time in a row opted for a status quo, awaiting more clarity on inflation trends and impact of demonetization on growth. Although it hinted at no interest rate cut in the immediate future by shunning its long-held accommodative monetary policy stance.
Legal and the executive methodologies put in place both by the government and the RBI are in place. Now it's for individual bankers to get into the exercise of resolving each one of the pending issues. Well, all finance ministers have a perpetual desire, but at the end of the day, we all respect the decision that the RBI takes.
Reduction has been considerably less. Given that, we feel that there is some scope for further reduction in lending rates, and if you see that for sectors such as housing, personal, etc., the reduction has been much more than for other sectors by the same bank.
And here are more updates from across the country in Nationwide. India successfully test-fired its interceptor missile off the Odisha coast. The mission, termed as PDV mission, is for engaging the targets in the exo-atmosphere region at an altitude above 50 kilometers of the Earth's atmosphere. The target was developed for mimicking a hostile ballistic missile approaching from more than 2,000 kilometers away and was launched from a ship anchored in the Bay of Bengal. The missile was developed by the DRDO. Supreme Court has imposed a fine of 10 lakh rupees on RJD MLA Ravindra Singh for challenging a Patna High Court order dismissing his plea, which questioned the veracity of an article published in a vernacular magazine way back in 1994. The apex court came down heavily on the lawmaker, saying that being a representative of the people, he was wasting crucial judicial time by filing a frivolous litigation. A bench headed by Chief Justice J.S. Khehar said that it failed to understand what prompted Ravindra Singh to file the petition before the High Court in 2015 with respect to an article published 23 years ago. The government today approved the proposal for a single entrance exam for engineering and architecture at the undergraduate level from 2018. This will be on the lines of the National Eligibility and Entrance Test for medical colleges. The HRD Ministry has asked the All India Council for Technical Education to issue a suitable regulation for the implementation of the proposal from, in fact, the academic year 2018-19. However, the test shall be conducted multiple times a year to bring uniformity in academic standards and reduce the influence of donations. A minor fire broke out today at the Tata Memorial Cancer Hospital in Parel. No one was reportedly injured in the incident. The fire was confined to the wiring and electrical installation in the basement area of the hospital building. The cause and the extent of the damage is being assessed. International news: and a powerful earthquake struck the island of Mindanao in the southern Philippines late last night. At least 6 people have been killed and over 100 others are injured. The earthquake, measuring 6.7 on the Richter scale, occurred at a depth of 10 kilometers and the epicenter was about 13 kilometers east of the city of Surigao. The city is reportedly facing power cuts and several structures have been damaged. Surigao's airport has also been closed due to cracks in the runway. However, the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center has clarified that there is no tsunami threat from the earthquake. With that, let's take you through some more international news updates in Global Buzz. The United States today blocked the appointment of former Palestinian Prime Minister Salam Fayyad to be the new UN envoy to Libya. U.S. Ambassador Nikki Haley said that the Trump administration was disappointed to see that the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres had informed the Security Council this week of his intention to name Fayyad to lead the UN support mission in Libya and help broker talks on a faltering political deal. At least 13 people were killed and over 20 injured when a bus and a van carrying gas cylinders collided in Bangladesh's Faridpur district. The accident took place on a highway connecting Dhaka and Khulna town on Friday night. The fire has been brought under control. Residents in Australia's New South Wales state have been urged not to cook or watch television to save power as a scorching heat wave moved from the desert interior to the coast. The state's energy minister, Dawn Harwin, asked residents to consider reducing their energy usage after work. The heat is forecast to continue through the weekend before things cool off early next week. And finally, cricket action, and Bangladesh skipper Mushfiqur Rahim and youngster Mahedi Hassan held the team's fight back on day 3 of the Hyderabad Test. The batsmen had an unbeaten 87-run partnership for the 7th wicket as the visitors finished the day on 322 for the loss of 6 wickets in their first innings. Earlier, India began the day on a promising note by taking 3 early wickets, with Bangladesh being reduced to 109 for 4. However, a half-century from Shakib Al Hasan steadied the visitors' innings as they ended the day 365 runs behind India's first innings total of 687 for 6.
That flighted ball. It's such a good pitch. And that should be his 50. He's got a few first-class 50.
And that's all we have for you on the news tonight. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you on Monday.